Now we're
Yeah,
live.
now it says live.
Yeah.
Now it says live. Perfect.
Do you guys have headphones? I'm getting some feedback quite all over the place.
No, but I will mute myself.
So yeah. So okay. So this is a campfire chat, practically something really unusual and very informal. And yeah, I think the idea is kind of like to chat about Aavegotchi, Aave, NFTs in general, and just kind of like have fun, maybe leak some alpha, and yeah. I mean, how are you, Jesse and Dan, doing? Like in overall, it's been an interesting ride.
Yeah, well, today, I mean, a very crazy day. We kind of woke up this morning to a Binance listing. That's a good way to start the day, for sure.
Congrats, guys.
That's amazing. I think Aave used to, like, we were like one of the, I think, first like community coins whatnot listed to Binance. So like I see kind of like resonance, Aavegotchi being very community oriented project, and I see similar kind of vibes what we basically have been having previously. So that's nice.
Yeah, it came as a complete surprise. I mean, in terms of we had a lot of things planned to do today and get ready for the raffle that's coming up in a couple hours from now, and have this fireside chat with you guys. I was out like grocery shopping for marshmallows when Dan texted me and he's like, "Oh, Ghost is on Binance now." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Speaking about the raffle, can you explain a bit more if the some of the audience is not aware of it?
Yeah, so this will be our second raffle, and what it is basically we're all waiting for the Aavegotchis to arrive. Like they haven't arrived on mainnet yet. So in the meantime, this is a great way for people who are already holding Ghost and are already active in the community. This is their chance to, kind of start earning game items right now. And those game items we refer to usually as wearables because you actually equip them, and they're NFTs that you can wear on your other NFT, your Aavegotchi. So before those Aavegotchis get here, people are already kind of filling their closet with these NFTs, vouchers for these NFTs that they're going to be able to have once mainnet launches. So the first one was Chainlink themed because we're using a really cool system for this raffle. We're using a couple of unique smart contracts we built, and then it all uses the Chainlink VRF, which is a random number generator oracle, so that we can basically, as soon as that thing gets engaged, all the raffle tickets that were entered in that raffle basically get distributed, recognized, and you check your dashboard and you find out if you won an item or not. And so it's very automated, very trustless, and a lot of fun. And so the second one is tonight, and it's of course with you guys and with Aave, and we had a lot of fun designing these people just love the designs, and they love it more when they realize they can actually equip these and wear them on their future Aavegotchi. So
I bet you guys didn't think you'd be made into NFT wearables this year, did you?
Yeah, that's quite awesome, actually.
Yeah.
I love how you do the hair.
I mean, I was surprised.
And I don't know which one's my favorite. Wow. You guys all have great designs. So the Aave boat has to be the runaway though.
The boat is so good.
Yeah.
We had some internal discussion about like what type of boat it is, because I think in Stani's like profile picture, I believe it's a sailboat, right? But the way it got designed, it doesn't really have a sail. So we were thinking, like, what is it? Is it a yacht? Is it I think when we were translating the name of the boat into Chinese, our translator wrote that it was a kayak. I'm like, no, it's not a kayak. So I think we ended up choosing speedboat for the Chinese translation, which I think is pretty accurate because, you guys move fast, we move fast. I think it's pretty accurate to have the Aave speedboat, but in English we just call it the boat, the Aave boat.
Yep.
That was pretty awesome. I actually you can't tell like from my profile pictures like what it is actually, like what kind of a boat. So you know, and you know, I wear a basically life jacket to also kind of like try to provide safety, shield our safety module a bit, but but that was pretty cool. I'm pretty surprised like how many of these designs you have done in a very short period of time and made them very very nice, appealing. So that is something that's very intriguing, like how you guys made it to do. Because if I understood like your story, you started like pretty much like hacking first on Aave in a hackathon. You had some background in NFTs and collectibles, and kind of then, you know, started to pursue this idea. And you know, it's just still kind of like interesting to understand like how did this whole thing came along and so fast. And like, you know, like me and Jordan didn't even have the time to help you always, because you're moving so fast. We couldn't catch up like.
Yeah, I guess it started with Jesse. You can talk a little bit about like what we were working on before this, and kind of how it tied into what Aavegotchi has become.
Yeah, I mean, well, first, how the wearables got designed so fast. I mean, we're just, everybody on the team is very creative, and so I think it's a team of creatives that happen to also be, you know, tech savvy. At least some of us are, thanks to Coder Dan and a couple others on the team, like our Solidity lead Nick Mudgeon. But yeah, when we went to take a look at what we could do for Aave, I remember talking to Zbot. He's our lead designer, and it's pretty amazing that most of the time he doesn't need many drafts. I mean, he usually nails it. If he doesn't, he's got a few designs that are off in La La Land, but most of them are pretty good. And when it came to I remember when I saw Jordan, when I saw your avatar, I was like, oh my gosh, I want that one. I want the Jordan avatar. And that was the first draft. He just was like, I don't think he had to tweak it at all, did he, Dan?
I don't think so. No, it was perfect.
Just nailed it. So, but yeah, we started. I mean, my background was more on the NFT side. I've been very interested in that stuff. Prior to that, I was more working on kind of the drier stuff. I worked for a crypto exchange out of China. I know Dan because of China. We go way back. Both lived in Xiamen, China for a while, and did music. We had a band there for a while. We did a bunch of stuff. But then I moved to Singapore and kind of left the exchange side of the business to go all in on NFTs, helped co-found Mintable. And from there, really got obsessed with this idea of not just having an NFT for an NFT's sake, but having some sort of utility or taking other value that exists on chain and finding a way to capture it inside the NFT. And I think, Dan, you dubbed it a value staked NFT, and I think that makes sense. So from there, Dan built out the whole front end for BullionX, which was it's our first attempt at doing this kind of NFT. There's gold tokens staked to each collectible there. And obviously from there, we were like, well, what else can we do with these value staked NFTs? It's got to have, you know, there's so much we could do with yield. And the other thing I think that I always stress is I love intuitive products. And Aave, you guys and your A tokens, I mean, once Dan showed me those, because I wasn't aware of them really, I wasn't using them. Once I started putting A tokens into my wallet and watching it accrue in real time, I was just like, this is something we need inside an NFT. Like, I was totally on board. I was on the Aave boat at that point.
Yeah. It's magic. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, and I guess, that's kind of where the hackathon comes in, and where I kind of started learning about Aave. I learned about Aave pretty much the beginning of the year, actually, like when you guys did your rebrand and launch, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. I remember like going on the Aave website and looking at it and be like, what is this? It's got like a cute little ghost logo, and like it didn't look that serious. That was when it was like, 5 million market cap. One of my Chinese friends like told me about it, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. And then you guys blew up, and we were this was in like May, and we had launched Bullying X. It was doing pretty well, and the interface for the site was kind of finished. So I had some time to kind of play around and join the ETH Global Hackathon, and decided to look into Aave and like kind of figure out what was going on under the hood. So that's kind of how I learned about A tokens, and I learned about the interest redirect feature, and made a little app called Yield Hero that was built around that. So that was a lot of fun. It was really fun, like digging into the docs and like setting up the subgraph and all that. And after that, I was like, man, these A tokens, they're like magic. They just accrue in your wallet. They're really fun. So we should figure out a way to put the A tokens into the NFT and make it like the NFT become interest generating. So that's exactly what we did. But we wanted to build more of a story around it. Like just having an NFT that goes up in value over time really isn't, I mean, it's cool, but it's not like really that exciting. It's still just a thing in your wallet that kind of accrues value over time, but doesn't really do much. So we were brainstorming a lot on like how can we make these things more fun? Just like with Bullying X, the idea was to take the gold coin and have it in your pocket, kind of in your phone or in your MetaMask wallet, in your wallet. So we wanted a way to make these interest generating tokens come to life. And we looked, I don't know what brainstorm it was, but we were like, we just came up with this idea of what if we use the Aave logo and just built this crazy product around it.
It's such a distinct ghost. I was like, yeah, man, a ghost, because they're kind of hollow, right? You kind of transparent. It's like it's even more ironic if there's something staked inside of the ghost. So it's just an extra level.
I remember seeing like the first design that you guys sent, and basically the first palette, like that, I was some like I remember discussing with Stani, and I was like, oh damn, when can we buy this? It's very cool. So yeah, I'm like, I'm happy to see like
totally. I FOMO'd right away, like.
Sorry.
I FOMO'd right away because I think what was interesting in the idea is that you pretty much like gamify experience. You know, you kind of take, and you can kind of like create different kinds of incentives of doing things, right? Like saving funds and so forth. So I think there's like a lot of potential here, and I mean, like the design part, getting it so well, it's just amazing. You know, like me getting this Aavegotchi, it's like it's the best thing that happened probably this year.
No, you guys, V2 is the best thing. I can't wait for V2. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
maybe this is the best thing.
Speaking about like gamifying like the whole DeFi experience, I think you guys have done like quite a lot on the interest generating, and now there is like new ways that you are looking to basically integrate like even deeper into the Aave protocol. Like I heard some stuff working on the health factor. Can you guys tell us a bit more about this?
Yeah, we've been having some like brainstorms about how we can really make people like really visually feel their health factor. Like when they look at their Aavegotchi, the Aavegotchi is a representation of, really it's a representation of their collateral in the protocol. And like one of the biggest use cases obviously for Aave is people staking their collateral and collateralizing it and using it to take out loans. So we don't want to go against the grain and like make and not let them do that. But we also want them to know like the Aavegotchis, they have a minimum stake. When you open your portal and you see your 10 Aavegotchis inside, each Aavegotchi has a different rarity score based on the traits that that's been assigned. Based on those traits, it has a minimum stake of the collateral that it's born with. So like if you have a die, it might have like 100 a die stake, like minimum stake. Or if it's like a really, really rare one, it's going to be 1,000 die that you need to stake into that Aavegotchi in order to claim it. So if you're a degen and you stake 1,000 your 1,000 die into this Aavegotchi, but you also have that 1,000 die being used for loans and things like that. So it's being collateralized. There's a chance, or maybe not die is the best example, but maybe Link or another one that has a little bit more volatility. There's a chance that the Aave liquidation machine is going to come in and it's going to swoop your Link or whatever out of your Aavegotchi, and suddenly the Aavegotchi is going to be a little bit lower than the minimum stake required. So we have this, like, we're kind of brainstorming internally, like, how should we deal with that? And there's a couple of like scenarios. One is that whenever the health factor goes under 2, and as it starts to approach 1, there's some visual things we could do with the Aavegotchi to kind of make it, maybe it's sad, or maybe it's like fading away, kind of like as a ghost should. It should be more and more transparent as it's kind of fading away, as it's getting ready to be liquidated. And then the other scenario is that once it's actually been liquidated, what should happen? Should there be should the Aavegotchi itself die? Like a Tamagotchi would? Is that how Aavegotchis die? By being liquidated. So that's one thing. Or there's a lot of visual things that we're kind of working on doing, just to integrate the Aavegotchis more and more with the actual Aave protocol, more than just the interest generating part, which is cool in itself. But there's so many cool features with the Aave protocol. We'd love to keep adding more and more.
Yeah, and interesting, like, because there's like collateral swap and a bunch of other features, like how those could be used in the same way and swapping. That's pretty nice.
I can imagine even that, like, if you get liquidated and the liquidators basically only take like 10% or something of just to cover the debt, then your Aavegotchi lose a limb or something like this. Like, basically it has like a battle scar forever after it gets liquidated sometimes. Yeah. Then it might incentive people to be very risky just to get those battle scars.
That's true. Yeah,
that's a great point. Yeah.
Street credibility.
We do have an idea of like badges. This is something we are including in the first version of the contracts, is that your Aavegotchi can hold basically what are ERC 1155 tokens within its kind of its inventory or its pocket. So there's like myriad scenarios that your Aavegotchi could be put through, and it could earn a badge. And a badge is kind of like and generally they're probably going to be non-transferable, and it's kind of like a history of what your Aavegotchi has been through as in its lifetime. So like when you participate in a DAO vote using your Aavegotchi, there may be a badge, kind of like a POAP badge for your Aavegotchi, but it'll stay with it forever. So that'll add kind of to the collectability of the Aavegotchi over time as it accrues more and more of these badges, and it kind of becomes almost an identity. You can look at it and see that it's done, where it's been, in a very like visual way.
Oh, breaking up a little bit.
I think we lost you for a second. Yeah, I think like even if you think about it, you can imagine like not so far long that you could have like the whole Aavegotchi being like an interface for the Aave protocol. Like you don't even need to go, like if you integrate with credit delegation, like you just buy an Aavegotchi, this Aavegotchi as like credit line, you could borrow directly from your Aavegotchi. It tells you like on his face when you get close to liquidation, like this whole thing be just like an interface like for the Aave protocol. So that's quite amazing actually.
Yeah, there's some of the most exciting potential there is right there, I think, with this idea of building up an identity and a bit of a credit score with it. Because, right, everything in the real world, you have credit with collateral or with a credit score. And maybe the Aavegotchi can be a bit of an identity and get some incentives to help you interact and navigate the Aave protocol. That would be super, super where it needs to go.
Yeah. That could be quite fascinating. I mean, it's data, and people can build other stuff on top of Aavegotchi. You can build different kinds of gamification, and I think it's just one additional layer on top of what Aave is, and kind of like expands the whole ecosystem. And like in blockchain, when all smart contracts talk with each other, there's like so many cool opportunities you can create. And I could imagine there's going to be like other developers building on top, or kind of like expanding the ecosystem as well. Do you have any kind of like ideas on how like far this NFT composability can go?
Yeah, we have a few ideas. Dan, you want to share the insurance hat or some of the others?
Yeah, I mean the Aavegotchis can hold NFTs themselves. So really, the Aavegotchi has one of its wearables is a pet. So actually, the Aave boat that Stani's riding, that's a pet. So the pet can be typically they're going to be 1155s, but we are working on ways that we can also have an Aavegotchi itself hold another ERC 721. And really, it comes down to kind of scaffolding those different functionalities into the Aavegotchi. Our contracts are upgradable. This is actually like it's a pretty interesting feature of the protocol that we really want the DAO to have control of eventually all the contracts, full upgradability. That's like longer on the roadmap, but in general, like whatever the community wants to do, they can change the code and update it and upgrade it to make it work more and more with other new protocols. Like we can't imagine what there's going to be in 5 years. All we can really do is provide the structure and the governance to be able to allow the community to do that. So that's what we're really trying to lay the foundation for right now. But as far as like NFT composability, what I'm looking forward to is the mini games that people are going to be able to build on top of Aavegotchi using our on-chain SVG files. We've spent a lot of time crafting our SVGs to make sure that they're on-chain, they're like very cheap to use, and very like low barrier to entry for people to add in new wearables, to add in like different pieces for the Aavegotchi, and then to be able to actually take those and use them in a game that they create. So we're working on like mini games where the Aavegotchi is gonna be able to go and fight with other Aavegotchis, and they're gonna be competing for the interest of their opponents, or in some more extreme cases, actually the collateral of their opponents. So you're gonna have these Aavegotchis like fighting each other in our mini games, which is gonna be really fun to watch. I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, collateral for like a health bar and a Street Fighter style game, but it's your collateral at stake. And maybe it's an exhibition match, you don't lose your collateral, but if it's a tournament mode, it could be pretty high stakes, quite literally.
Yeah, I wonder if the Finnish flag of Stani would be a weapon.
Oh, yeah. I think that could totally looks like a weapon to me.
Let's chuck it at someone.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Is that what Stani does around the office?
Yeah, waving the Finnish flag.
Very cool. Yeah, I think on top of that, just the idea of like doing our own hackathon at some point, or joining others to support. Like once we get this foundation down, it'll be really great to let loose and encourage all sorts of developers to build on top of this. So
yeah, I can see actually like so many people, because I don't think that there is other like basically you're on the edge and there is no one else like providing what you are currently doing, like the whole gamifying DeFi and then composability of NFT, like different level of NFT within NFTs. Like the whole thing is like quite huge. Like you said, like you are building foundation, like you are basically just a building block. Like Aave is a building block. The whole Aavegotchi experience is another building block, but it's also an building block that has like a visual experience. So it's even cooler because like some people can just build using like the backend part, which is like the technical aspect, but some people can just build using the visuals, like using the SVGs that you put on chain. So like I think like 2021 will be quite huge in that sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the one thing that'll be crazy, I think at some point, with Aave v2 coming out and the governance, the community being able to add like community tokens and things like that. Obviously, like Ghost would be maybe a candidate for that, but we could go even like further with that, with this idea of the sharding of NFTs. So if you take your Aavegotchi with its collateral and you go over to one of these NFT sharding platforms and you transform it into an ERC20, then you take that ERC20 and that becomes an actual like collateral within the lending platform that people can lend back and forth with each other. It's just, and then you take that, and then you stake it within the Aavegotchi itself, and it's insane.
Leverage Gotchi.
Leverage Gotchi.
Yeah. So I really look forward to things like that happening and experiments like that.
Probably 2021 is going to be crazy. Jordan was definitely right about that. So many things to go with. And that's the cool part. There's so many ways to participate with Aavegotchi, and I guess with Aave too. But it's like you were saying, some people come at it from a developer's standpoint, but others, like we have in our Discord, such an active community. Some of them are helping us in doing the pixel art that's going to end up in the main launch for all sorts of wearables. Others are helping write our wiki, which is, I think it launched about a week ago. So we have a really cool, really thorough wiki now that was completely done by the community. And then everybody's doing agent missions on top of that to get to know the platform. And
this is what I was going to say, is that you have like a whole, like I think Aave at the beginning and now Aave as like the whole decentralized protocol, you have like many ways to incentivize community member to participate. And I think you have been like, from the beginning, you had this agent mission, like a very simple mission in the Discord, very simple, like basically product awareness. And now it's getting like even deeper. People are participating in the art, people are participating in the code and everything. So like, how did that was for you, like from the beginning and like building with alongside the community?
Yeah, when we began, I mean, we knew that there was going to be quite a long lead time up to Aavegotchi, and we wanted to make sure that first of all, it's kind of a complicated product, so we really have been focused on education kind of throughout this whole process. That's really what the agent missions are great for, growing the community. We have like occasionally we'll have like relentlessly shill missions where the agents go to the Twitter or they invite their friends to Discord. But like for me, what the most important part has been is actually getting people to go and read the damn light paper and the white paper and go and read our documentation and just really get to know the material. I think that's one of the main like reasons that we have such a I think we have like a super knowledgeable community, because a lot of these, especially the earlier members who really joined quite early and spent a lot of time on the missions, they know a lot. They know so much. That's why they could bang out this wiki in like a week, because they just basically just put pen to paper and wrote it. It's really awesome to watch.
It was quite shocking, actually.
Yeah. So education's been so important.
That's pretty,
and
like,
yeah,
I agree on the education. I mean, it feels like even more kind of like what should be done in DeFi related to risk and so forth. And I kind of see like Aavegotchi being kind of like a successful in the educational part, and that could be used actually in DeFi to get more education. I mean, in the sense that what better way to kind of like encourage people to learn and basically to save than, for example, collectibles. That's like a pretty interesting actually thing.
Yeah, there's a play to earn. Maybe it's learn to earn, something like that.
We have there's play to earn, there's learn to earn.
That's awesome.
There's also gov earn. You're going to be able to earn by governing.
Earn to play.
What the friends like it.
Earn to earn. But I think it comes back to education, because our ultimate goal is to take this game and hand it over to this community. So like we have to ensure that they're capable of managing it from a deep level. So really, education is so important for us to make sure that our DAO is going to have the correct mix of people in it that can actually govern this thing. I think for any protocol launching, intending to do this like exit to DAO kind of idea, they really need to focus on the community and making sure that they're very, very knowledgeable about the protocol and the culture behind it.
Yeah, I think
then you guys did like the first. Go ahead, Jordan. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, it's interesting that you say about the culture, because in all those like decentralized community and community in general, like the culture is what gets people together. And all like you can make many rules, you can like make processes, and like in the end, like it's the culture that gets people together and that makes sure that the protocol and whatever you build like stays like as it was intended, or actually just evolve in the right direction that is like basically a good outcome for everyone involved. So like this focus on culture is basically like a seal of quality, I think.
Yeah, everyone's friends. Yeah, it's a friendly community.
And friends without any D. Like, yeah. I think your focus on the meme culture and like basically the internet culture, let's say, has been actually quite valuable. Like this is something that's in Aave, like it's not really a focus, it's just like who we are. I think it's the same with you. It's just like being able to just express yourself like you express yourself with friends, and just like realizing that the community is just people that you want to work with. It's not just like I'm the team and they are community member. Like we are just as much community member as the rest of the people involved. You are as well. Like you just have like a bit of a head start in participating, but that's about all.
Yeah, and earlier you were talking about the incentives for the community and how I think we do have a lot. We have the missions. We've used the idea of like earning wearable set and kind of have that as like the end goal, the end prize for missions. But there's a lot more. There's really we've started like having our apprentices, our archivers, which are creating the wiki. Like they're all receiving ghosts. They're receiving our ecosystem token for doing those services. And we're even kind of internally thinking about how can we give even more to our contributors. And one idea I have is to basically, if you're familiar with Colony, they have some interesting ways that whenever you receive the native token of the DAO, you get a little bit of reputation in DAO. Which allows you to like have more power in the DAO. So I think it'd be really cool if every time you receive Ghost for doing something for Aavegotchi, for the DAO, you actually receive a little bit of experience for your Aavegotchi, which over time levels it up and makes it more powerful, more rare, which gives you benefits in rarity farming and in the mini games. And also that could be a factor in your overall voting power in the DAO, like how much experience your Aavegotchi has. So I think just different incentives like that, thinking about how we can ensure that the people who are participating actively from the beginning, putting in the work, are going to have just as much say in the protocol as the financiers, the token holders.
Yeah,
I think it's really important to have a good mix. Yeah,
find that balance, and
that's really good.
I hope the next version of the DAO, because there's going to be 3 DAO versions scheduled, and what we want to get to is a point where it's not purely about who holds the ghost tokens, but this idea that the Aavegotchi itself, in its identity and its XP and these certain badges it holds, they can all contribute to kind of weighting their voting power. So it's a tall order, but it's probably what we'll turn our attention to shortly after we get these Aavegotchi, this first haunt, released to the wild, which is coming up fast.
I really like the idea that kind of like you don't need to, because I think 2020 was a lot about also kind of like, like bringing liquidity and whatnot. And here, kind of like you have so many ways to participate. So it really like makes the ecosystem more diverse. And that for me was pretty cool. And you keep doing it basically with the missions and everything. So it's kind of, it could bring kind of like a lot of layers and different kinds of skill sets into the community and values like that. That's super cool. And I think you guys, like, you actually did a DAICO, so-called like a DAO ICO kind of combination that Vitalik kind of like proposed as a model of actual like fair launch where you give the power to the governance as soon as possible, and then there's this kind of like tap mechanism. What made you choose that model? And kind of like, I see like a risk there that many projects are always thinking with the DAICO model, is that practically you give power right away and kind of like you're in the arms of the community, which is not a actually bad thing, but it's a big fear that they have. And how do you kind of like approach and went this way? Because it's kind of it takes a lot of courage to do something like that, especially that not many have done it previously.
Yeah, I think it took a lot of thought beforehand, but once we realized, we kind of thought it all through and realized, well, if we do this right, and if we deliver what we're going to deliver, then everything else kind of falls into place, and the DAICO model makes even more sense. So we just really felt strongly. I know that was the last stuff we talked about early on, was how do we bootstrap this, and the DAICO just more and more became the apparent choice for being kind of something we'd like to see more common across the ecosystem. We just don't see enough of them. And this idea that, the community comes in and funds, and they still control those funds to a pretty far degree. And I think it was just more of a confidence that we were going to actually ship and deliver. Certain projects out there maybe are like, yeah, we had a great idea, but we're not sure if we can pull it off. And then maybe they won't opt for this model. But we haven't really had those kind of issues at all. So it felt pretty good from early on. I don't know, Dan, am I missing anything there?
Yeah, I think we knew we wanted to have a DAO from the beginning. And then it really just became a matter of picking the model. And there was a couple that we could have chosen from, really. There was like DXDAO they did a kind of a DAICO, but it wasn't really, because the reserve ratio was super low. So if you bought into it, you wouldn't be able to sell back into the bonding curve. I think for every dollar you'd get like 10 cents back. So that didn't, it maybe worked for them, but didn't really gel with our idea of what a bonding curve or what a DAICO should be. We feel like people should be able to enter and exit whenever they want. And that's powered by our bonding curve, which that's probably the most controversial thing about the whole project. And really, I think it's great. I think it's very healthy. It's a super healthy mechanism, because it actually reduces the volatility of the token by quite a lot. Which, if you've there's many tokens out there that they moon and then they just dump forever and they never come back. And I think that's very toxic for the community. I think it's great if the community can have confidence in the token and the tokenomics, and know that it's good to either hold it, or if they don't want to hold it, they can at least get it and they can use it for its intended purpose, which for us is to buy portals, to buy wearables, and eventually to stake and purchase parcels in our Aavegotchi metaverse that we're creating as well. So there's a very strong use case for Ghost, and we're actually going to be releasing a little bit more about the tokenomics of Ghost and the revenue sharing that we've been kind of hinting to people in the last couple months about exactly what the ratio will be for how much the DAO will get per sale, how much the Pixelcraft, the company behind Aavegotchi, will get, and how much will be burned for each sale of portals, and also how much will go towards the rarity farming and the different play to earn rewards. And the ratios are good. I think people are going to be really excited when they see them.
So this is the moment where we leak alpha, right?
Basically.
Yeah, I mean, if
speaking of bonding curves and
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
We'll be releasing that very soon. If people are wondering.
Yeah, speaking of bonding curves, what do you guys like to do on free time? Like, are you spending like a whole day now on Aavegotchi, or is there some like actually free time, or is it all now going on into the project? Because I felt at least like with Aave, it's been like kind of a lot of time contribution. You know, when you build community and like live the community life, and it will be interesting to know like how you guys are you kind of like now working quite a lot of focusing on the Aavegotchi?
Pretty much live and breathe.
Or do you have free time?
Yeah, and now like I think I had my first dream of an Aavegotchi the other night. Like I woke up and was like, oh God, it's in my dreams now. How about you, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much since we started doing it, I was trapped in Sri Lanka for about 8 months. So as we were building it, I was like trapped in Sri Lanka and trying to figure out how to leave and get back. I got trapped for COVID. Basically, now I'm back in China. But that was crazy that whole time. Like this project's been built in wild circumstances. We launched the Ghost token while I was quarantining in Shanghai, and I had like really poor 4G tether internet behind a VPN. It was awful, but we managed it. So I mean, I know Jesse and I are both spending pretty much totally full days from. Usually we have calls or meetings set up like from 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Usually all the way, we're working at least till 11 p.m., 12 p.m. But it's like fun. It's like really fun work. Yeah, exactly.
Same.
DeFi doesn't sleep, so neither can we. Yeah, we're building.
Exactly.
We have a very aggressive launch schedule, and we're really hoping to get mainnet out onto Aavegotchi on the mainnet by the end of this month. That's our internal goal that we're really pushing. Now it's the contracts are pretty much ready. Now we just are kind of waiting for the audits and making sure that we get that stamp of approval, which we're very confident in our contracts, but it would be great to have a third party come and look at them and make sure there's nothing wrong with them or in any way.
So this is a call for auditors. If we have any auditors looking at us, like just contact the team. And like you were talking a bit earlier about governance and gov-earn, like and in the governance of the Ghost token, but something that is also interesting on our side, on the Aave side, we have like the governance V2 that is about to come quite soon, and you'll see it's actually like very interesting. It adds like many innovation regarding like what is currently in the space and like innovation at the token level, innovation for the governance. And I think like that will be also like one of the space for even Aavegotchi to build like on top of it, like based on your governance action or like the delegated power that you get or something like that, like basically becoming like the whole like governance politics can also be visualized through Aavegotchi, because this is also like a space that is like very early and that is actually like very visual, like even in real life. So like I think there is a place there for Aavegotchi too.
Yeah, that's Jesse's favorite part, I think, of Aavegotchi, right? The metaverse.
I just want to vote in a virtual town square. That's all I want to do.
Have your little vote, you stick it into the ballot box, and then it switches the vote on you, like powered by Dominion.
Yeah, our little Dominion pixelated box.
Exactly. Super excited about that. Are you guys are powered by Aragon as well, right?
No, actually, we have like basically own system. We used to have like internal Aragon DAO, but now we have like our own system, and the governance V2 will be like completely own system, completely managed by the community, and all the way from the proposing power to like voting and everything. So like expect some posts like in this week or the coming week regarding all of that.
I'm excited.
That's cool.
I'm definitely
It's going to be really awesome. Like this is going to be pretty cool. So I think we leaked quite a lot of alpha during this call.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that because we're also looking into the next kind of structure that we'll be using for Aavegotchi DAO V2 as well. And there's some very new, interesting options coming out in the next month or two, I think, that we're really hoping. We really want a kind of a gasless way for people to interact with the DAO, because it's having to do like on-chain transactions for everything it's pretty tough. And also just the quorum, we think that quorum really needs to be flexible for different types of votes. Like if you can't just have a set quorum for everything, some things should be higher, some things should be lower.
Well, based on what you're saying, it sounds like you are going to fork the Aave governance.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sign us up.
Soon TM.
Perfect.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do we have any comments
Amazing
here?
alpha.
I think we have like people. Any dropping any good comments here?
Oh, I missed your comments.
Yeah, I think so.
I see some friends in the chat.
Yeah, I can see some comments here on the side. I'm curious, like, why you guys did your rebrand? Like, how did you come to that decision? What was the story behind that? Real quick, I guess, but.
The name was like very, I think, like too restrictive. Like it was just called Eatland, which was like a bit too obvious and too restrictive. Like we wanted to have something that represent, like we discussed earlier, the culture. So Aave is like we are not like a Finnish team, but Stani is Finnish. Aave is like a good sounding Finnish word. There are like Finnish word that doesn't sound good, but this one sounded good. And then like we
ran
wanted
out
to
of
have like
French words.
Yeah, I think it was like an opportunity to create a brand, like to create something that was like more than just like the product that we were doing at that time. So yeah, and like definitely Aavegotchi doesn't sound as good as Aavegotchi. So
yeah,
very good point. Yeah, that's very. I see some questions here about
that's.
Go ahead. I'd rather hear more about.
The interesting thing is that, I mean, there's like double A in the beginning. So if there's like a directory of like in alphabetic order, like Aave gets quite like high in the listings always. Like with the I think in Binance, like Aave is the first token even in the drop down, and like it's a kind of like a small thing, but honestly, like. So many names are taken, so it was a bit difficult to find. So we used the Finnish one.
I love it. I love that double A. I mean, when we go in our Discord now, we also get to use it, right? And everything is anything with an A is double. In fact, a couple hours ago, one of our very active Discord members, a pellet, is her handle. And of course, she's a pellet, so it's APP something. And somebody made a comment she should change her name to AAPPEL.
Did she actually change it? Did she get the 50 votes?
She put a comment. She said, if I get 50 likes, I'll change my name.
We need to go. We need to go voting.
We need to go.
I'm seeing the comments like, "Hi Xavier, hi Oleg." Like everyone in the comment is like very nice actually.
Yeah.
Do you have like question that you want to answer? Someone is asking where to buy the raffle tickets. Maybe you can.
Oh yeah. The whole the raffle procedure is pretty simple. You get Ghost from the bonding curve, from Uniswap, now from Binance, and then you go to Aavegotchi.com/stake. And currently we're only staking on Ethereum mainnet, although we are planning to have a Matic option pretty soon. And then so you go to stake mainnet, and then you stake your Ghost or Ghost Ether LP tokens from Uniswap, either one. And then you stake those. You'll over time every day you'll get some friends, and then you basically take those friends and you buy raffle tickets with them. And you can buy, the easiest place to buy the raffle tickets is Aavegotchi.com/bulk-buy, bulk buy. So you can like buy all the tickets you want in one transaction and save on fees. And then once you get your tickets, we're getting ready to launch our second raffle in like an hour. So you'll be able to enter those, and 72 hours from the start of the raffle, that's when we will announce the winners. We'll hit the Chainlink VRF button, and it'll make a little transaction, cost 2 link, like $25, and then we get a verifiably random number that we then use to generate all the winners, and then you know basically what you won. So we originally started out with 5,715 prizes for this one, but we worked up some magic together with Aave, and now we have 222 extra like Aavegotchi commemorative memorabilia to give away to everyone as well. Those are going to be hot. It's going to be very cool.
Yeah, I hope I get one. Actually, I hope to get myself.
Yeah, good luck. We don't get to there's no pre-mine. We have to fight for these too.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the thing. That's what makes it cool, you know. Like I think when you guys mentioned the whole project, I think it was like first time me and Jordan started to completely FOMO on what's going on. Like where's the what do we have to like? Where do we give our kidneys and to get stuff and But I think we're running a bit out of time. I mean, any last thoughts in general? What you want to say out loud, or
I think
make some more alpha.
Let's take some. When are the token migrations coming? Soon? The A token migration?
Well, actually, now you can already migrate from V1 to V2 with Instadapp. They launched something yesterday.
Nice. Very cool.
And there will be like a native migration tool coming like quite soon as well. That will allow you to move from LN to Aave directly. So migration from V1 to V2, and also like LN to Aave in one transaction. So that would be quite nice.
Yeah, we're planning to use V2 for all of our Aavegotchi collaterals, just because there's so many benefits, but the gas is so much cheaper from what I've seen to do that.
Yeah, it's quite nice. Like the gas optimization was
great job. Really awesome job.
Yeah,
a lot of work, but like result. We are happy with the result, and I think going with the V2 is good because there's so many good stuff, especially like when you get something like credit delegation at some point that you could use them in the Aavegotchi metaverse. That could be pretty awesome. So I think it's going to be and of course Dan already we lost Dan.
he's on Instadapp right now.
swapping collateral and debt. So well, I think we can wrap up.
the sense that I think we thank everyone who participated. I mean, it was finally nice to get this together and have this campfire with you, Jesse, and Dan. And I think that this is something we're super excited about, and I think that's things are been going pretty well. I mean, like designs are nice, everything is going to be super cool, and I really love the Aavegotchi community. I mean, man, it's just
thank you.
So cool and so vibrant. It's just pretty awesome.
It's been an amazing second half of the year, at least in terms of this Aavegotchi and Aave and your guys' support. So just thank you again for having us today and starting the campfire, so to speak. And best of luck to all of us tonight at the raffle. Well, I guess these 3 days. I hope we all win something. And
did we get with Jordan NFTs for participating in the campfire?
I hope so. Those memorabilia NFTs, I mean, I think there's 200 available with a legendary ticket. And then the variants with Jordan and you and me and Dan, those are extra rare. I think there's only 20 of me and Jordan and only 2 of the Stani Coder Dan one. So that one's going to be really hard to get, and you need a godlike ticket to have a chance. So, yeah.
Awesome, guys.
Thanks so much, guys.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.